Let me tell you something that's been bugging me all week. Pete Crow-Armstrong's been playing the role of a benchwarmer, and I'm not talking about the kind of benchwarmer who sits on the couch and watches the game. No, this is a guy who's supposed to be a cornerstone of this team, and yet here we are, watching him man the DH position for the third time in 5 games. Now, I get it, players need rest, and the Cubs coaching staff might be trying to protect him. But when you start seeing a guy who's usually a center fielder playing DH 3 times in a row, it's not just about rest anymore. It's about something deeper. What makes this really interesting is the timing. They are doing this against a Royals team that's barely holding on to relevance, and yet the Cubs aren't even fielding their A team. It feels like they are playing with house money, and honestly, that's not the vibe I want from a team that's supposed to be competing for a playoff spot. Now, let's talk about the pitching matchup because this is where things get wild. On the mound for the Cubs is Matthew Boyd, a lefty who's had a rollercoaster season. He's got this weird duality: when he's on, he's dominant, but when he's not, he's just there. His last start was a mixed bag. He gave up 5 runs, but the Cubs scored 10, so it's not all bad. But here's the thing, Boyd's strikeout numbers are still lackluster. If you take a step back and think about it, a pitcher who can't strike people out is like a chef who can't salt his food. It's just not going to work long term. Meanwhile, the Royals are throwing Randy Dobnak, a righty who's been on fire lately. His ERA is absurdly low, and his ground ball rate is through the roof. But here's the catch, his walk rate is 10.2%, and his BABIP is .227. That's like saying your car gets 50 miles to the gallon but you've never actually driven it on a highway. It's unsustainable. And personally, I think the Cubs' offense is going to exploit that. If you've ever watched Dobnak pitch, you know he's got this habit of giving up extra base hits when he's not on his game. This feels like one of those days where the regression hits him like a freight train. And let's not forget the injury report. The Cubs are basically playing with a skeleton crew right now. Matt Shore's on the Illinois with a sprained hand, and Daniel Palencia is out with elbow inflammation. It's like they are trying to win a championship with half the roster. Meanwhile, the Royals aren't exactly in great shape either. Their starting rotation is a mix of guys who've had Tommy John surgery and others who've been on the DL for months. But here's the kicker, the Cubs are still expected to win this series. How? By relying on players like Michael Conforto to take a day off and Nico Hoerner to hold down second base. It's not the lineup you'd want to see in a high-stakes game, but hey, they are not exactly facing the Yankees here. What this really suggests is that the Cubs are in a weird limbo. They are not bad, but they are not great either. They are trying to balance rest, injuries, and the need to win. And honestly, I think they are doing a decent job. But if they keep playing PCA at DH, I'm going to start wondering if they are hiding something. Because from my perspective, there's no way they'd let their best center fielder sit on the bench unless he's hurt. And if he's hurt, that's a bigger problem than any single game. So here's my question to you, are the Cubs protecting their star players, or are they just settling for mediocrity? Because right now, it feels like the latter.